am Sarah Millican and welcome to episode 51 of How to Be Champion Storytime. I hope you're enjoying these. Thank you ever so much for all of your comments below. You can't see this, I've got a necklace on today that has kind of a rainbow thing going on. I'm enjoying the rainbows that people are symbolising at the moment, so I thought I'd join in. I hope you're having a smashing day. We are in the middle of the friendship chapter and I suggest we just crack on. The second time it happened, I was in Melbourne, about to do a stand-up set on live radio in front of an audience. It was very noisy and I wanted somewhere quiet to pace a little and focus before my spot. Felicity Ward, another comic, had thought exactly the same. The third woman in the quiet room, let's call her the American, did not seek silence. She was loud and asked which part of Ireland I was from. I glanced at Felicity and rolled my eyes. It was a risk. She could have been super pals with the American. She was not. She rolled her eyes back. The American left the room and Felicity and I started chatting and haven't really stopped. She gives the best answer to the question, "Are you hungry?" Her "I could eat" has resulted in 11 a.m. curries. Immediately after my divorce, I got myself a beautiful bright red coat. It signified a lot to me. A willingness to stand out, to show myself to the world again. It made me feel amazing. I'd worn dark clothes for a long time. Who knows why? Depression, bad body image, they all matched. You don't have to separate them for the washing machine. They take a spillage very well. But I went out and bought a bright red coat. Around the same time, I overhauled my knicker drawer and bought loads of CDs. I think I was making a fresh start, finding out who the new me was, what she liked, what size knicker she was, etc. I spoke to a few pals before writing this book about the stories I should tell. Quite a few of them remembered the time a sad girl wore a red coat, like in Schindler's List, but obviously a lot less sad. One of the times I met my friend Juliet in London at Victoria Station, I was early, so I just stood outside W.H. Smith's, where I always felt at home. I saw Jules appear from the crowd and walk in my direction, and then veer off. How odd. I felt sure she'd seen me. She was making a beeline for something, and that something wasn't me. It was a bright red double post box. A double one. You know, the ones with a slot for stamped and then one for franked. Yes, she didn't have her glasses on, but she still thought a giant red double, for fuck's sake, postbox was interchangeable with me in my bonny red coat. Friends who can still make you laugh while insulting you are precious. I've always been of the opinion, where friends are concerned, that you have to be ready for them all to disappear at any time. But how many friends do you really need? Facebook's limit is 5,000. I think a good solid 6. And the How to Be Champion tip at the end of this chapter is be a good friend. It's the best thing you can be, but only with those who would reciprocate. One-sided friendships are draining and hard. Friends are like family for adults. And also, your best friend can totally be a dog. The end of that chapter. Let's have a little bit of the next chapter. Chapter 23, The 6 Men I Have Loved. Oh, by the way, if sometimes you see a circle like that in my glasses, it's I just bought a light because it's a bit of a dark corner. I bought one of those. Everybody's got them. Everybody's doing internet things. It's got one of those lights, but they're not brilliant for people with glasses. The 6 Men I Have Loved. Number 1, Shakin' Stevens. Some might call him a poor man's Elvis, my mum herself being a big Elvis fan. She even had an Elvis pillowcase as a teen. But for a long time, Elvis was to me a poor man's Shaky. This old house, green door, what a Julie, lipstick, powder and paint, all classics. If I had never heard This Old House, I wouldn't have known what shingles were when my mum got them. And thank God her doctor had time to fix them. I identified a lot with green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Reminds me of all the fun I've been sitting outside of. My sister and cousin once shut me out of the bedroom we were all sharing so they could have a midnight feast. They'd saved apples and polar mints, so it was going to be great. I was stuck on the landing, so I made crying noises on the stairs till my mum, who was chatting with my auntie, asked what was wrong, and the plug was pulled on the whole thing. Shaky was my first real crush. I vaguely remember dancing in front of the telly when I was about 5 during his performance on Top of the Pops. I didn't understand anything about telly, so I thought that every time he looked at the camera, he was looking at me, and I danced harder. He followed me a few years ago on Twitter. For all the times Twitter is an arsehole, the days he and Jason Donovan followed me are worth it. And that is the end of episode 51. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a good rest of day. And why don't you tell me who your first crush was, celebrity-wise, in the comments below, and I will read them at my leisure, and that will be very entertaining. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of day. Stay in the house. Wash your fucking hands. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Sarah Millican here. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. Don't forget to like, pop a comment below, and why not stick around to watch a few more? I'm sure those emails or those dishes can wait a bit longer.